You're overreacting. It's just a wedding, my mom said when I wasn't invited to my sister's big day, so I booked a trip. Days later, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Can you imagine dedicating your entire life, your heart, your literal bank account to someone, only for them to declare you unimportant at the most pivotal moment of their life? That's what my own sister, Emily, did to me. And honestly, it broke me, until it saved me. My name's Ethan. I'm 33, an architect living in Austin, Texas. 2 weeks ago, I found out Emily had completely erased me from her life. Not with a fight, not even with an argument. No, she did it in the most elegant and cruel way possible, a wedding invitation I never received. Emily, my little sister, the one I cared for, defended, protected. The one I sacrificed friendships, relationships, vacations, even dreams for. The same girl who cried on my shoulder when Mom yelled at her, who called me at midnight when her first boyfriend dumped her. She lived in my apartment for 2 years while studying, couldn't even afford the electricity bill. I covered it. I bought her first laptop. I paid for her master's degree. Emily, my own blood. And yet, when she announced her wedding in Santa Barbara, California, I didn't get a single word. Not a text. Not an email. Nothing. The worst part. That sentence, the one that still burns in my chest, we've only invited the people who are truly important to us. She said it on Instagram, in a story, using that sweet, fake smile tone she always used to manipulate everyone. She was wearing her trial white dress, romantic music playing in the background. And yes, I saw the names. All the distant cousins, her high school friends, her old literature teacher, even a great-aunt who lives in Brazil. Everyone. Except me. Of course, I asked Mom. My throat was tight, hands shaking. She just gave me that cold, superior look she always uses. Oh, Ethan. Don't make it bigger than it is. It's just a wedding. Just a wedding. As if I didn't know what that really meant. As if it didn't hurt. After everything. After years of being her shield, her shoulder to cry on, her personal bank, I wasn't even worthy of being among the important ones. That was the moment. Not when I saw the guest list. Not when my aunt asked why I wasn't going. Not even when Dad, as always, washed his hands of it. No. It was when my mother, the same one who demanded I sacrifice myself for the good of the family, looked me in the eyes and told me it was just a wedding. That's when something broke inside me. Something I have no intention of fixing. That night, while the family group chat was blowing up with memes about wedding prep, I did something I never imagined I would do. I booked a trip. Miami, Florida. First class. Ocean View Resort. Just for me. Before closing my suitcase, I posted a story, a glass of champagne, sunset feed, in the pool. Sometimes family isn't where you were born. It's where you finally feel at peace. 20 minutes later, 8 missed calls. And that was just the beginning. Miami welcomed me with sun and silence. A different kind of silence. Not the one that comes with family indifference. Not like those dinners where everyone talked over me as if I didn't exist. This was the silence of peace. For the first few days, all I did was walk on the beach, swim, drink white wine, and watch the sea swallow the sun. I turned off notifications. I forgot about the family group chat. But the past has long arms, and family? Even longer. Day 3, I decided to check my phone. 48 messages. 11 missed calls. A new post from my sister, caption, counting down the days with the people who truly matter. And there they were again. Cousins, distant uncles and aunts, even one of her high school teachers. But not me. The one who basically raised her while our parents were always working. The one who paid for her masters. The one who endured her breakups, her dramas, her silences. That same day, my mother sent a message, "Sweetheart, don't take it like that. It's just a wedding. Don't be dramatic. Just a wedding." As if it didn't hurt. As if I didn't understand that what Emily really meant was, "You're no longer part of my circle. You don't bring me prestige. You're of no use to me." And that was when I posted the first photo. Me in the hotel's infinity pool, holding a glass of champagne. Caption, "Sometimes walking away is the only way to breathe again." #NewLife #No filters. Day 5, my Aunt Margaret, the only one who ever showed a bit of warmth, called me. "Ethan, sweetheart, what's going on? Your mother says you're creating a scene on social media. Emily is upset." "Upset? Why?" "Because I'm showing I'm doing fine. Because I'm not crying like they expected." Aunt Margaret sighed. "I'm just saying, try not to add more fuel. Your sister is nervous. It's her big moment." "Yeah," I replied, "her moment to erase the people who no longer serve her." Day 6, my father. That man who always lived in my mother's shadow. He called. His tone was the usual diplomatic, neutral, cowardly. "Ethan, don't take it personally. These things get complicated. You know how women get with weddings. And why am I the only one who's not there? Why were even the neighbors invited?" I demanded. "Because that's what Emily decided. You're an adult son, not everything revolves around you." "Of course. But when something needs to be paid for, when there's a problem, then suddenly everything revolves around me." And then came the final blow. A message from my mother. "Ethan, can you co-sign the loan for Emily's new apartment? We're missing your documents for the bank." They hadn't talked to me. They had already made the decision for me, as always. As if my salary was part of the family budget. As if my bank account were a shared inheritance. And there, with the sun setting over Miami and a glass of wine in my hand, I knew. Never again. I recorded a voice message for the family group chat. My voice was calm, but firm. "I'm not signing anything. I'm not explaining anything. I'm no one's bank, nor anyone's emotional lifeline. If this is normal to you, I wish you luck. But I'm done." Silence. Then, little by little, the messages started rolling in. First Emily, then Mom, even Emily's fiancé. All in the same tone, confusion, surprise, guilt disguised as concern. But I was already gone, further away than ever. And for the first time, I felt close to myself. The wedding day arrived. Saturday. I was in Miami, having a peaceful breakfast by the sea. Coffee. Toast. Zero stress. Meanwhile, back in Santa Barbara, everyone was in full event of the century mode. I won't lie. I was curious. I opened Instagram. The usual. Emily posting 1,000 stories. White dress, bouquet, makeup, walking in with Dad like they were super close. Her friends yelling, "Most beautiful bride." Typical background music, probably Ed Sheeran or something. All very pretty. Very perfect. Or so it seemed. Around noon, my phone started vibrating non-stop. First, a message from my cousin Jake. "Dude, did you see this?" Link to a Twitter thread. I opened it. A video. Recorded from one of the back pews in the church. Emily at the altar, holding her fiancés. Music playing. People clapping. And suddenly, he freezes. Literally stands still. As if something just snapped in his mind. She whispers something. You can't hear it. He replies without looking at her. And without another word, he turns around and walks out. Just like that. In front of everyone. A woman screamed. Another started crying. The groom's mother stood up like she'd been punched in the chest. Emily stood frozen, eyes wide as saucers. The pastor had no idea what to do. A security guy tried to stop the groom. He shoved him aside and walked right out the main door. The camera wobbled. Fell to the floor. People ran after him. Voices. Shouts. Total chaos. I watched the video 3 times. I couldn't believe it. I thought, asterisk, this has to be a joke. A setup. Asterisk, but no. 3 different accounts posted it, all from different angles. It was confirmed. The wedding crashed and burned right at the altar. With 150 guests watching. And of course, what followed was predictable. A message from Aunt Susan, "Ethan, please answer. Emily is a mess. We need you to come." Excuse me. Now I'm part of the family again. Now I'm useful. After not even being invited to the wedding? After Emily publicly stated only the important people would attend? I left the message on read. Then my mother, Please, Ethan, this has been a disaster. You have no idea what has happened. Your sister needs you. I didn't reply either. A little while later, I got a voice message. It was Brandon, my cousin Jessica's husband. Bro, you wouldn't believe the mess. The groom found some messages between Emily and her ex. Total madness. They were recent, like 2 months ago. Someone showed him right before the ceremony. It wasn't random. He had it printed, paper in hand. Threw it in her face in the dressing room. Said something like, "This is what I'm getting into if I marry you." And left. Boom. That's when I remembered. That time Emily called me at 2 a.m., crying because her ex had left her for someone else. I got in the car, went to pick her up. Said nothing. Just drove. I spent an hour listening to her saying nobody understood her. I made her soup, let her sleep in my bed. I took the couch. 2 days later, she got back with that same guy. And she never even thanked me. So no, I wasn't surprised she kept messaging him. And I wasn't surprised someone found out and threw it in her face on her wedding day. And honestly, I didn't feel sorry. I felt angry. Because I knew that if things had gone well, they wouldn't have even remembered I existed. I spent the afternoon at the spa. Massage session. Sauna. Total relaxation. I posted a photo, me in a robe, drink in hand, turquoise ocean in the background. Less drama, more massages. Hashtag self-care, hashtag not available. Total silence. I turned off my phone. No vibrations. Nothing. No more, Ethan will fix it. No more, Ethan, help us. No more being the emotional crutch for a family that only sees me when I'm convenient. While everything was burning down back in Santa Barbara, I slept like a king. For the first time in years. I went back to Austin a week after the wedding. Not out of nostalgia. Not for family. I had things to wrap up. Had to empty out the apartment. Handle paperwork. The bare minimum. I did not answer a single message. I didn't open even one of the 80 unread WhatsApp messages waiting for me. I read a few from the lock screen. Emily is devastated. Mom won't stop crying. Don't be cruel. Cruel. Me. After they erased me from the wedding like I never existed? After years of putting up with everything and swallowing every humiliation and silence? Now I'm the cruel one? Well, yes. If that's what being cruel means, then call me cruel. I went to the law office. I removed my parents as beneficiaries from my accounts. I updated my will. And I closed that account my mother used for family things that always magically ended up paying for something for Emily. That same day, I got a message from her. Ethan, the grocery card isn't working. Did something happen with the account? I replied, account closed. Nothing else. I didn't feel like giving explanations. And then came the part that always happens when you start setting boundaries. Someone shows up in person. My mother came. Without warning. Doorbell, 8 in the morning. I was still in my robe, coffee in hand. I opened the door. And there she was. With that face she puts on when she wants you to feel sorry for her. Ethan, are you really going to do this? We're family. I didn't answer right away. I just stared at her. It was hard not to laugh at the performance. Just a few months ago, she made me feel awful for saying I was exhausted from work. One night, I showed up at my parents' house for dinner. I was worn out, my head literally hurt from stress. I told them I might need to take some time away, that I felt like no one was listening to me. You know what she did? She looked at me, laughed, and said, "Oh, Ethan, don't start with your drama. Always so dramatic." That sentence destroyed me. I kept it inside, like always. I smiled again, like always. But that night, I knew I could never show my real self in that house. I had to be useful, strong, available. Back at the door. So now I'm family. After I wasn't important enough to have a chair at the wedding. She stayed quiet. Emily is really bad, Ethan. She's in bed. She won't talk to anyone. That's not my problem. It hurt to say it, I won't lie. But it had to be said. Your father is very worried. And where was he when you all decided I wasn't even worth a seat in the church? Nothing. Silence. I'm tired, I told her. Tired of always being available for you, of paying, of holding everything together, of rescuing everyone. But we're your family. No. You used to be my family. Now you're just people who share my last name. Nothing more. I closed the door. Not in a dramatic way. I just closed it. Period. 2 weeks later, I left Austin. I moved to San Diego. A new apartment, small but peaceful. Remote work. Simple routine. No one bothering me. I didn't tell anyone. There was no goodbye dinner. No final conversation. I just left. The same way they left me out of their perfect wedding. And ever since then, I sleep better. My phone no longer wakes me up with, "Ethan, can you do me a favor?" I no longer have to explain how I spend my money. I no longer have to pretend I'm okay just to avoid being called dramatic. Now, I finally live in peace. Without guilt. Without regret. Without them. 6 months went by. 6 months without emergency calls. 6 months without, "Ethan, can you?" 6 months without having to swallow everything in silence. And for the first time in my life, peace. I'm not saying it was easy at first. The first few days in San Diego felt strange. I would wake up expecting someone to need me, like a reflex. But after a while, the silence began to feel good. I would wake up, make coffee, work in peace. No one expecting me to fix their mess. No one telling me I was overreacting. I was living for myself. And that, I had never done before. 3 weeks in, the first attempt at reconnection arrived. A message from Emily. "Hi. I know I have no right, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry." I read it. Left it there. 2 hours later, another one. "I made a lot of mistakes. I needed you that day, and I needed you after. But you were cruel too." And I laughed. Me, cruel? After you erased me? After years of using me for everything you needed and then ignoring me during the most important moment of your life? I didn't reply. And it wasn't out of pride. It was out of dignity. Then Mom. She sent me an email. A simple email. "Son, we all make mistakes. What matters is forgiveness. Family is all we have. No. What we have are choices. And I made mine." A month later, I ran into them by accident. I was in San Diego, sitting at a cafe terrace, having a drink with a friend. Mom, Dad, and Emily were there for the weekend to unwind. They saw me. Emily looked down. Dad waved awkwardly. Mom walked over to my table. "Ethan, are you not going to say hello?" "I'm busy." "You're not even going to talk to your sister?" "Did she talk to me before cutting me out?" Silence. "What do you want me to say, Mom?" "That I'm happy to see you. I just want us to be a family again." And I said it straight. I already have a family. The people who respect me. The ones who don't use me. You had your chance. You lost it. She froze. I turned away, went back to my coffee. Now, consequences. Because yes, everything has consequences. Emily. She's still living with a friend in a rented apartment. The mortgage for the new place fell through because I didn't co-sign the loan. She's working a temporary job, and from what I heard, she's on medication for anxiety. Do I feel sorry for her? A little. But also, that doesn't give me back the years I spent being her emotional and financial support. My mother. Now she goes around saying that Ethan is going through a phase. According to my aunt, she plays the victim in front of everyone. She sold her car, canceled her gym membership, and no longer goes to her usual beauty studio. The shared account is gone. The faucet was turned off. My father still says nothing. He never called, never wrote. I saw him in San Diego that day, and he waved at me like I was the doorman of the building. I don't expect anything else from him. He was never really present. Extended family. Total silence. 2 cousins messaged me privately saying, "I understand you, but I don't want problems with your mom." Same old story. Plenty understand you in secret. Very few will say it out loud. And me? I am fine. I am at peace. I have a small studio apartment in San Diego. I work remotely. I have clients who respect me. I go for runs in the morning. I read. I write. I laugh more. No one asks me for explanations. No one demands more than I can give. No one makes me feel like I have to earn their affection. Today marks exactly 6 months since the wedding. And I haven't seen them again. And honestly, I don't miss them. Sometimes people ask me if I feel guilty for breaking away from my family. And the truth is, I feel free. I finally feel like myself. They used to call me selfish. But they never realized what someone looks like when they finally start living for themselves. Final update, responding to your comments. Honestly, I didn't expect this. I posted my story just to let it out, to release something I had been carrying for years. I thought a few people might relate. I thought others would criticize me harshly, which also happened. But I never imagined so many people would write, saying, "The same thing happened to me. It's like you're telling my life. Thank you for putting this into words." And I am the one who has to say thank you. I read